Hi, my name's Kathy. I'm a dendroclimatologist. Dendroclimatologists use tree rings to reconstruct past climate. This video partly documents a field trip to southern Tasmania. Our ultimate aim is to reconstruct winter-spring temperatures for the past 2,000 years. Now, before heading in, I thoroughly prepared the international crew by forcing them to watch Van Diemen's Land, the story of a convict who escaped from Sarah Island and ate his companions. I did also show them the huge first aid kit and how to use the satellite phone, just in case. Now we're in the chopper, it's too late to go back. The happy campers, so far, take in the breathtaking scenery of southern Tasmania as we fly into the site. There's Federation Peak. Now these little white sticks you can start to see, these are some of the dead trees that we're going to core. So as the chopper leaves, we eye off some of the dead trees. These ones have probably been dead for less than 200 years. So these are really youngsters. It's important at the start of the field trip to document the names and number of field crew, just in case someone's missing at the end. Next day, no roosters, thankfully. And now, before we go in, we're just going to have a little bit of a coring lesson. We've had a long and arduous journey from camp through rain, sleet and snow to get to this tree, as you can see.
I've got about a 500 mil increment bore. First thing I'm going to do is take the spoon out. Sometimes you can stick it up in the tree like that and let it hang. There's a good spot too, but somewhere you're not going to lose it, somewhere you're not going to step on it like I did yesterday. Pull the actual corer out. You lift up the little handle on the handle, stick the corer in there, slot that back down, and you're ready to go. As you're doing this, you want to try to press your body in like this as you turn it. Just go like this. Start to turn it until those threads catch. Just turn it, and usually after a couple turns, it'll hold itself.
Right, that's enough of that. Check out Precipitous Bluff and the south coast. Now we're giving the student a coring lesson while we can still stand upright, because it won't be long before we're crawling. But at the end of that crawling through the bush, there are rewards. We're mostly coring dead trees, but we core a few live trees to calibrate our record against the modern climate record. Now we have the highlight of Andy's first day in the field, a beautiful long core with lovely tiny rings. And then we core more dead trees. And we do that all day. Now some of this prickly muck is scoparia, your best friend. Right, and after that, it's dinner time. Thanks, Harry. It was a great dinner. Next morning, the weather starts. This is what it was like for most of the trip. Wet and foggy, but certainly not miserable. This tree is a very important tree. It marks the start of the toileting area. So we cored it, of course. Time to get going, to find some ancient dead King Billy, all in the name of science. Everyone's still a happy camper, despite the fact it's wet feet all day, and scoparia all day. But we're all still having a good time. Just look at John. And here comes that scoparia again.
This never stops. Hey, John.
Oh, hey-o.
Now, strange things can happen to the mind when you've been away for too long, but the best remedy is to keep coring, keep finding long dead trees, and keep taking notes on waterproof paper. Sometimes the corers really get stuck And this is when you use a neat trick called the Spanish windlass. But you do have to ensure that you've got a good dampener weight on the rope, and this is for safety reasons.
Yep, perfect.
Now, there's some beautiful things out there besides trees, and then there are more trees. Now this must be the saddest, loneliest tree I've ever seen.
So this is our lunch on the last day. It's a little rainy, just a little, but we're all here having some soggy cheese and salami extraordinaire. It's lovely. You can see the notebook's all swollen up. It's a nice little clearing. All what 3 square meters of it. So we're wet.
Drinking and coring at the same time really doesn't work. Well, it looks like time to go home. Everyone's tired and wet.
This is my tent. You can hear the rain. It's been raining like this since this morning. We went out. I'm completely soaked. There's all our samples. It's just a mess. But you can listen to the rain.
Next morning, drying out.
Mold growing on my clothes. The dry clothes that were in the bottom of my day pack got wet. They've been sitting in there for a week, and now they've got mold growing on them.
Now it's time to introduce the international crew. We've got a bit of diversity, but there's clearly a bit of work to do. There's John from Tucson, Nathan, the American expat from Queensland, Harry, the Victorian, and Andy, the shy Englishman. I'm the Tasmanian boss lady of this motley crew. What are these guys doing? It's clearly time to go home.
I'm gonna put my name to this. Take it away, Andy.
Now we have one last core before the helicopter comes. He obviously hasn't smelt us. It's off home while there's a gap in the weather. We've caught about 100 trees to use in our project. The chronology now extends back to 46 BCE. That's more than 2,000 years ago. So it's goodbye to the Southern Ranges, which is a very special place. So next time you see dead trees standing or lying on the ground, think about how old they might be and what they could tell you about past climate.